Now, we know you have a lot of questions about the coronavirus, so today we're joined by Dr. Christelle Ilboudo. She's the Medical Director of Infection Control and Prevention at MU Healthcare. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
So we posted on our Facebook page yesterday asking our followers about their concerns, any questions they had for you. So we're going to jump right in here with what they had and wanted to know. Carmen wants to know, what symptoms should we be monitoring and how do we know we're at risk?
So the symptoms of coronavirus are very similar to cold symptoms: fever, cough, difficulty breathing, also aches, headaches are the usual symptoms. For us right now in Missouri, we are recommending, if you have those symptoms and you have been exposed to somebody who had known coronavirus or is currently being tested for the new coronavirus, or you've traveled to one of the high-risk areas, then we would recommend that you get tested for it.
Okay, good to know. If someone thinks they have symptoms, when should they look into getting tested, and how do they know if they're eligible for being tested?
So for the majority of people who are sick and well, it feels like having the flu, and if that's the case, they can stay home, monitor themselves. If they feel the illness is getting worse, meaning higher fevers or trouble breathing, then what we recommend is to really call the doctor before they come to see us, and the reason for that is to make sure that we are prepared to receive them. And as they are coming to the doctor's office, we recommend that they actually wear a face mask once they get to the doctor's office and are waiting in the waiting room. And again, the reason being that we want to protect the other patients that are in that setting.
Of course, keep everyone safe. Now, Brenda and Brian, they want to know, is Columbia in good shape to execute these tests, and how many are in Columbia available?
So the health department is the one who actually tests. So what we do is if we think we have a case, we will call the health department, discuss the case with them. If the person qualifies for testing based on the criteria I mentioned earlier, then we will collect swabs from the nose and the throat and send it to the health department lab in Jeff City, and then they are the ones who do the testing for us.
Okay. So Deanna asks, should we be worried about going out to eat? Is the coronavirus more contagious than the flu?
It is hard to know how contagious it is compared to the flu. I believe that because it's a new virus that we haven't seen before in human beings, that more people are going to get sick, but the majority of people seem to recover from it. So that's the good news. Until we start seeing really local transmissions here, more cases here in the Columbia area, I think it's still safe for people to go out.
Okay. And to that point, what about the pediatric population? You might not know this about Dr. Ilboudo, but you are a pediatric specialist too.
Exactly.
So what about our kiddos?
So children have not been a main focus of this infection in particular. There haven't been a lot of pediatric cases in the kids who are getting tested or hospitalized. So far, children fare better than adults.
Let's talk about spring break. We're only about a week and a half away. Should people consider changing their travel plans?
I would consider changing if you're going to a high-risk area. Again, if you're going to the state of Washington, the Seattle area, or the New York area, to reconsider traveling. The CDC actually has great information on travel restrictions to specific countries internationally that we definitely do not recommend going to.
Okay, that's all good to know. Last question here for you, Doctor. Rebecca asks, how can our community be more proactive in preventing infections?
I think knowing the people who are the highest risk, being older people and people who have certain chronic conditions, the diabetic, the high blood pressure patients, knowing that can help us so that if we feel sick, we can protect them. So washing our hands frequently is something that's highly recommended. Cleaning surfaces with disinfectant that are high-touch surfaces like doorknobs, and just being aware of our surrounding and people who are sick around us, and really practicing good cough etiquette, so coughing in our sleeves, using tissue, and again, washing our hands after we do that.
Wash those hands. All right, thank you so much for your time. This is not the last you'll hear from Dr. Ilboudo. Right after this newscast on Facebook Live, you can send us your questions and have them answered in real time, and we'll ask her more of those questions again coming up on KOMU 8 News at 6. Matt.